This one for WWE champions. Pay to win like every day, yeah.
I don't play mobile games.
Funny how they still think I'm a broke man.
Then I'm broke.
Even though I be pulling Hogan's. I spent like 40 grand on a couple thousand pictures of some sweaty men.
So there you go. Now, for all the people spamming FF7 in the chat, you can shut up right now because we've already discussed this. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did absolutely poorly here on DSPGaming. All right? I played about 20 hours, and it did not do well at all. People were not showing up for the streams. They were not engaging. They were falling asleep and talking about unrelated things and actually saying it was boring when they watched me play it. The support was ridiculously low for a brand new RPG playthrough. And at that point, I said, oh, maybe it's because of RPG overload. But if you want to know the truth, I don't think so. I don't think that was the case at all. I think it's just people aren't digging the game as much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm never going to go back to Final Fantasy VII, but if I'm not going back to RPG overload. I refuse. If I'm going to choose between two RPGs, I'd rather play Dragon's Dogma 2 than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right now. But I might go back to Final Fantasy VII in the future. Maybe when we get through Dragon's Dogma, we're looking for another RPG, we can go back to it. But I'm not playing two major RPGs at once. I'm not an idiot. We literally just did that for 4 months. I'm not a moron, and I don't care how many people spam the chat and whine like babies about it. I'm not killing my business further, because in reality, as much as I enjoy RPGs, they kill this business. Literally, Baldur's Gate 3 hurt this channel badly for the last 2 months. I want you to understand that. That was a sacrifice to get through an insane game like that, and I'm not playing long games like that ever again. I can't. They don't fit my formula, all right? Even if they came out with Baldur's Gate 4 tomorrow, I would not be playing it. I cannot play these kind of games anymore. They don't work, okay? For as much as people came by the streams and supported them, the channel itself has dipped so badly. I'm not kidding you when I'm telling you I am down thousands of dollars a month. Compared to before I started Baldur's Gate 3, this channel has dipped in views and support by thousands of dollars a month. So you may think, oh, but the streams do well, and the streams are great, but that's not a business. That's half of the business. One side has done good, and the other side has completely faltered because of Baldur's Gate 3. Literally, that's the cause and effect reason it's happened. Okay? So I can't do that shit anymore. I can't. I'm not going to be doing this kind of insane stuff anymore, killing this channel. All right? Okay. So. Oh. No, I'm not playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now. I already said I'm not. It didn't do well when I was actively playing it. And I'm going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2. So it's that or one or the other. And I've chosen Dragon's Dogma 2 over Final Fantasy VII. I'm just more interested in it. Okay? It's that simple. Fair enough? Okay. So. All right, Cream Sardine, would you like me to ban you now or later? Because I just said I don't want anyone bitching about this, and you're bitching, and I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm not going to have anyone bitching about Final Fantasy VII. At all. Zero. Every complaint I get about it, I'm going to say shut up, because I'm not killing my business over this. And if you say it another time, I'm going to ban you, because I've just had enough of this entitlement. Oh, I just want what I want, nothing else, and I'm going to sit here and whine and complain. But I just told you the rationale of why we're not doing it. Respect that. No, I want it anyway. Shut the fuck up now. Now I'm telling you, shut the fuck up. I literally just had my channel dying for 4 fucking months. I'm not doing it again because you're going to be entitled about it. All right? I understand if you like Final Fantasy VII. Personally, I was liking the game too. I was disappointed with the reception it got on my streams. It was way low viewership, way low engagement, way low support. And I was like, wow, I was shocked. I thought it was going to do way better than it did. And to the point where I was like, well, if anything goes onto a hold status, it has to be this game because it's just not doing well, you know? So I don't want to hear the whining. I'm the one trying to have a business here, you know, doing variety content. This is not DSP RPG. And I'm not playing RPGs nonstop all year. I'm just not doing it. I can't do it. I will go out of fucking business. You understand me? I will. I will go out of business. Not every RPG I play is going to have people coming by like what happened with Baldur's Gate 3 and supporting every stream in a huge way. In fact, if you didn't notice, with Final Fantasy, it was actually really bad. So stop with the entitlement. because that's not how this fucking channel can work. I wish it could. If I had my way, we would play way more RPGs. I want to make this abundantly clear. I love RPGs. I grew up playing them in the 90s. But that's not what keeps a business afloat. People want balance, okay? And they need to have variety. I'm not going to be listening to a vocal minority of people who are going to sit here and whine and then basically get my chat just caught up in crap. I'm just not going to listen to it anymore. I'm going to do what's right, which means balance, which is always what's worked for this channel. And then when I stopped listening to that and I played a bunch of RPGs, it failed. I knew this was going to happen. I called it RPG overload in January. Everyone's like, not a big deal. And then what happens? I'm not kidding. My views are way down and the profit on this channel is way down. Just because people come back every day and will, tip on a Baldur's Gate 3 stream, that's great. But what about everything else? What about ongoing memberships? What about people who would super chat when there was a great game that they enjoyed? All those people are gone. You understand? They literally left because they're like, dude, you're playing the same fucking RPGs every day for 4 months. We're tired of it. They want variety. There's people clamoring for new games to come into this situation or to have something like Elden Ring come back. They're tired of the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So everyone, I hope you understand. And if you don't, sorry that I can't give you everything you want all the time. As they say, you can please some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you simply can't please everyone all the time. So that's it. And I'm putting my foot down. I don't want to have anyone whining in the chat about it. I'm giving you a heads up. We're doing variety for the next 2 months until the end of Elden Ring DLC comes out. If you don't like variety, you're in the wrong spot. This is not DSP RPG, where I get less than 200 views a video because no one cares about lengthy RPGs, and then I go out of business. We're not doing that anymore. We're actually going to do variety content. Okay? Fair enough? Thank you to those who are being understanding. Really. But if your people are going to be stupid about it and complain constantly, I'm not going to put up with it. Because it's that kind of attitude that, sadly, people don't understand is very toxic. There's a difference between saying, man, I really wanted Final Fantasy VII and I really enjoyed it, but I understand why you can't play it right now. Versus, I want what I want, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to act like a spoiled brat and just stand in your chat and whine and complain and make everything toxic. There's a big difference there. You see? There's a huge difference. This would be the equivalent, and I know you love the food references, right? You go into a restaurant and they used to serve your favorite dish. For some reason, they just can't serve it anymore. So, if they're not serving the dish you don't like, do you stand in the restaurant and scream at the top of your lungs, why don't you serve the dish? Why don't you serve the dish? Why don't you serve the dish? Or do you leave and go somewhere else? Right? Or, just maybe, if you're actually kind of adventurous, try a different dish. Because you might like it as much as the old one. Right? Or maybe you like it even more. So just maybe, instead of screaming around for Final Fantasy VII, which ain't happening anytime soon, stick around and watch another playthrough and you might like it. Instead of just being a whiner about the thing that you are so entitled and demanding for that I'm not doing. Okay? And again, it's not that I didn't give it a chance. I absolutely gave Final Fantasy VII a chance and it didn't work. It just didn't. People didn't show up. They were bored and said, they were completely disengaged. That's how you can truly tell when a game just isn't resonating with an audience. When people are completely disengaged. They're literally not even talking about the game in the chat. They're doing everything they can to completely derail the chat because they don't care about the game being played on it at all. And that's sad when that happens. You know what I mean? I want to have a stream that people are engaged in supporting and enjoying. And if I can't do that, then why am I going to continue to play that game? Okay.